The following is one of the most perfectly enunciated and listed and adumbrated and reviewed clinical reviews of what President Trump said, announced regarding maybe the biggest names in all of commentary media there is. Period. I mean, you can go down the list. Candace, Tucker, Alex, Megyn Kelly. Maybe in that order in terms of nuclear lethality of these people. This was beautiful. It was the moment. First of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for galvanizing a movement which has been a little bit, well, I don't know what the word is, not as cohesive and coherent as it could be. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to review the current state of affairs of political commentary and where all of these great and grand people fit into the scheme. I'm going to go through this painstakingly, carefully. You're not going to believe the level of precise explication and expatiation and review that I'm going to provide you. Let Grandpa tell you what's going on here. In no particular order. And what may seem like scattered commentary, kind of a desultory, confused, elliptical, random observations, it appears like that because it is. Just want to let you know. Your instincts are 100% correct. Number one, in no particular order. President Donald Trump is not crazy. He has not lost his mind. He's not non-compos mentis. He is not ready for the 25th Amendment. None of that. This is the same Donald Trump you've always seen. It just so happens that when he was using this weird, rather performative, braggadocious, truculent, kind of off-the-wall attack, when it was against somebody that you like or didn't like, you thought, that's the guy, that's the guts, the balls, these elephantine, gonadal huevos this man possesses. Yes, that's the Donald Trump we love. Okay, now that it's against somebody that we love without bounds, people say he's crazy. He's not crazy. It reminds me, I think it was from the Hee-Haw years ago. Ask your parents, by the way, kids. Hee-Haw, I think it was the Culhanes. And the line was something like, they're not crazy, merely foolish. So whether he's foolish is another story. That has nothing to do with sanity. He is not crazy. He's Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, you must understand, is the master of... Is there a way that I can rephrase this? No, shit stirring. I mean, he can go in, and just when you think everything is interesting, and he's the master of distraction and redirection. You know the rodeo clown, right? The rodeo clown, that feller who runs in whenever there's a rodeo rider who's thrown off of a bull, is about to be crushed and trampled by this marauding beast. The rodeo clown comes in, the barrel man, they're also called. He goes, hey, over here. And the bull says, okay, I'll pick you. And then meanwhile, they rescue the fallen rider. That's what he does. The world is falling apart. Iran, 10 points, 15 points, is an unmitigated disaster. We just flipped the status of Iran, our putative enemy, all at the hands of the Trump administration. Sorry, it's true. So what DJT is saying, you know what? Let's change that. Over here, hey, Candace is low IQ, which is nuts. And my favorite one is Brigitte Macron is more beautiful than Candace. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, Mr. Trump, you might have gone a little bit. Okay, so let's go through this and provide, again, please, a thank you. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for cementing our position. And thank you for solidifying our call to arms. Okay? Now, I have provided this. I've looked at his screed, his Philippic that he has filed with the Truth Social, and a couple of things I want to go through. And you know, but I want to go through it. And first, question a little bit about the writing style and a little bit about the way it's presented. You know, years ago, you probably didn't know this about me, but when I was a youngin', I graduated from college and I worked for a United States Senator. His name was Richard, parentheses, Dick Stone. And I said he was the only senator who has his dick in parentheses. And I was 21 or 22. I remember I just I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was this district. It was a great job. It was a fantastic job. Really set me on my path to whatever this is. And we had this lecture one time from Secret Service personnel. And they said, listen, if ever you get letters from constituents or people, here's what you should look for. And they talked about underlining in red and changing pens. That means they went over it again, writing in the margins, all of these different indicia and indicators of lunacy or danger or combinations thereof. This doesn't have that yet, but it does have some stylistic aspects worth note, and I will do everything I can to dissect them as I am wont to do. In no particular order, I will tell you when the quote begins. Quote, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Okay, stop right there. This is the auto-complete, you know, just like when they say, disgraced Congressman Anthony Weiner. Do you have to write disgraced? I don't know. I just write Anthony Weiner and it says disgraced. Ugandan a strong man, Idi Amin Dada. Remember that was the first time I saw this. He's a strong man? What is that? He just read disgraced. It writes itself. And you must do the state-sponsored terror. Iran is the number state-sponsored terror. It's patellar, it's reflexive, it's Pavlovian, it's this thing. So he didn't write that. I don't think he writes any of this. He might have provided maybe the spirit of this, also the way it is, the capitalization. The number one state sponsor of terror. Interesting capitalization. Each word almost like a title, because number one state sponsor of terror of is lowercase, almost like a title. Okay. Go back again. I know why have all been fighting me for years. They have been, at one particular point, maybe with the exception of Megyn, who does perhaps her allegiances have perhaps maybe migrated by virtue of almost like a murmuration, you know, this kind of a little bit over here. But Alex, the inimitable, the ineffable, the one, the only, the sui generis, the king, the OG. Say what you want. Alex was there first. Alex was there. Oh, I don't care what anybody says. Alex deserves our respect. He may say some things that you may disagree with, but that's par for the course. He also is the consummate showman, and he may be the closest thing to a genius that anybody has seen since Professor Irwin Corey. But Alex Jones, Candace, Tucker, all of these folks were ardent, and now, again, Megyn, I think maybe later on, were ardent Trump fans, acolytes, and supporters. So for years is not correct. It's as of late. Remember, and Alex, when President Trump was not the President Trump that people think, when he was not as popular as everybody would believe him to be, Alex took him on first to his show. And Alex's show still, I'm telling you again, is it. It is must listen to radio. I never heard an entire show ever of Howard Stern, never heard Rush Limbaugh, except when I worked. Maybe I heard him on maybe a snippet here or there where somebody maybe took something. I've never listened to those shows, never. I don't listen to conventional talk radio, talk communications, but I listen to Alex. I mean, I can't say enough. Again, remember, sometimes he said some things I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean anything. Anyway, so I know my Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting for me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Quote, here we go. Because they have one thing in common, low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it too! Exclamation point. Now, I can tell you this. I don't know if tomorrow the sun's going to come up. I'm not sure about gravity. One could argue, is it the Newtonian model? Is it the Einsteinian model? Is it some weird time-space distortion? We can blame it. But I do know this. They are not low IQ. If anything, it's the inverse. Okay? But that's Trump. And he goes in because one of the things he does is when he hits you with something, he kind of gives you one of these. He says, and not only are you, you're crazy and you have a low IQ. It's almost like he gives you a way out. He doesn't mean that, but it's funny. But it makes a point. First sentence. Is that the first sentence? Yes. He uses a nice M dash. Another giveaway. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. Their families know it. I can see around that. Yeah, I know that. Uncle Alex, he's a low IQ. I know that. Grandma, you think so? I sure do. We all know that. We all know that. Yeah, we know that. We're their family, and we know it. Okay. Look at their past. Look at their record. Okay? They don't have what it takes, and they never did. If they don't have what it takes, I don't know what it is or what you take regarding it. They have what it takes. Candace Owens, today, I'm not emphasizing today, but today is the most powerful woman person, whatever you want to call it, in recorded history. Period. You might want to argue people like Joe Rogan. You might argue about audience size, and that is certainly there because that's indubitably more quantifiable. But when it comes to power, no. She's it. Close second, Tucker. Alex is Professor Emeritus. He's in a different league. He's there no matter what. This man, I like when they say, he's Phoenix. He rises from the ashes. There hasn't been any ashes. He's still there. He's still in the air, still doing his thing. Alex said, they're coming down. They're going to come. They're going to break that door down. Here comes Marshall. They're going to padlock the door. He's still in the air. He's the best. I'm not saying that he's doing it for sales, but I will bet you that those methylene blue sales shot up when you could hear almost the sledgehammer, the sound of the sledgehammer. All right, come out with your hands up. He's still there. I'm still standing. I think as the song goes. He's it. But never had these are colossal. Tucker went into Fox News and basically signaled to the rest of the world there's a new sheriff in town, and we knew it. And the greatest thing he ever did was leave. He's not hurting for money by any stretch. We know that. That's not the point. It signaled the sea change, the pronounced acknowledgement of the schism, the chasm, the blood-brain barrier, if you will, the Scylla and Charybdis between old style, whatever this Fox was, and the new perspective, the new age, so to speak, kind of a bossa nova, a new flair to, quote, Tom Jobim. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They are, capital letters, nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessarily for free and cheap publicity. Now, this is something that you're going to have to understand something, especially from people from, I want to say, my generation. Sad to say. I'm an outlier. I'm a one-off. I don't belong in my generation, but I do. My folks are still, my crew is still waiting for 1910 Fruit Gum Company to come up with a new song. They still believe in Ed Sullivan and newspapers and the Paper Boy and Norman Rockwell and Sunday Night with Ed Sullivan. I mean, I don't know. They're stuck in some kind of, they're paralyzed. They're like this insect frozen in a block of amber, from some Paleolithic era. They're fossils. They're walking dead, I remember when we... Okay, thank you very much. I don't know what he's talking about. There are people that I know that still believe... They don't understand what this is, what you're watching right now. They think this is like maybe a nurse's... Not a nurse, a nursery... One of those, those baby monitors, like, is that baby coughing? That kind of thing. They think this is shortwave, or maybe that weird frequency... That 1600 whatever frequency at the airport. The blue lanes are for parking. And they just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. They have this, they're intransigent. They keep thinking that their world, their perspective, like Paul Harvey is still around or something. And don't get me wrong. I respect these people. I worked with, literally, same floor, same place, worked with Rush Limbaugh and Bob Grant, and they were great. That was then. I don't know. I'm sure maybe because of their malleability, their protean ability to change and transmogrify as the world demands it. I don't know, but they're living in the past. They're living in the past, and they're just, that's the way it is. Here we go. This is so... okay. MAGA agrees with me. Well, maybe MAGA agrees with me. I don't know. I mean, that may be true. But one may say there may be 4 people left in MAGA, and that group agrees with you. So technically speaking, that's true, because MAGA has taken a hit, which we'll talk about later. Anyway, MAGA agrees with me, he writes, and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Is that oxymoronic? What do you care about CNN? See, he's so stuck in there. He kind of like, he's like people who hate the New York Times but quote the New York Times. He's still living. They gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. I don't even know what that means. What is this, Travelocity or something? Is this Yelp? For the pizza joint down the street? I don't know. Maybe it's like the old, remember the Soul Train Scramble Board or American Bandstand. I give it a 4, Dick. Nice beat, and I can dance to it. Thank you, Ramona. Okay, he couldn't even finish college. That may very well be the subject of, if that's true. I can't verify this. He couldn't finish college? I think he could. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. That's true. He's never been the same. Unshackled, untethered, unencumbered by the yoke of idiosyncratic antediluvian paleo-conservative ideology. That's true. He's never been the same once he shed that weird, the chitin, it's like he's like molting, getting rid of this shell that doesn't fit anymore. He's a butterfly. Okay, work your own analogy or metaphor. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. All right. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me. Now, I don't think, because listen, Trump, deep down in my heart, oh, I know. Remember that great line from SCT? But was it Vic Hedges? Joe Flaherty says, Vic Hedges is running for mayor. Sure, he's crazy, but what if he's right? Trump, my thing now is make Trump again. Now, forget America, great, I don't know what that means. Make Trump again. But he says it, but I don't think, as great as I don't think he uses the word nastily. I don't think Trump says nastily. Remember Filthy McNasty, all those great jokes? No. Nastily, I don't know who's writing this. Nastily? It's like a Tyler Robinson note. And I parked by the vehicle. You wrote this? Okay. Anyway, so he, let me go back again. The nastily, little tells here. Or Megyn Kelly, he writes, who nastily asked me, now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. No, that was the only Rosie O'Donnell question. That was your answer. That was your riposte, your repartee, your rebote, your carom, your, that was your, using highlight terms, by the way. No, that was yours. That was it. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Sorry, Megyn. MK, that's it. I think that's all I think that was your sole mention. All right, fair enough. And don't forget, remember the one where Trump gave the line about blood, and I don't even know what that was about. I know what it is vaguely in reference to, but he that was rather nastily referenced in any event. Or crazy. Now, when you write crazy Candace Owens, does that mean normally crazy? You write crazy when it's almost like like the brackets, the SIC, like the sick, like they think Candace Owens is crazy. I don't think if there's one thing Candace Owens is, it's not crazy. So he writes crazy in quotes. What is that about? What is that about? Anyway, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France, each word capitalized, and of the preposition of not capitalized. It's almost like a title. Somebody wrote that. He didn't do this. Now he's of course not typing this. I don't think he wrote the highly respected First Lady of France. Now, look, I honestly, forgive me, I've never been into the whole Macron thing because I really don't care. I mean, this poor thing. Oh my. This poor thing. You know who she reminds me of? This is terrible. Why? But I'm petty. I'm petty as you are. Tom Petty, okay? An American girl. That's right, my friends. And I've got a sophisticated sense of humor. But she reminds me of two things. Either that E.T. character, or ask your friends, Senor Wences. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. The hand thing with the wig, look at it. Look at it. I'm telling you. Anyway. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man, when she is not, and hopefully wins lots of money in the ongoing suit. By the way, stylistic reference, and hopefully wins. Okay, you mean to say, I hope she wins. When you say hopefully wins, that means she wins full of hope. Hey, I won, and I'm hopeful. It's hopefully you'll be on time. You'll be on time with hope. I'm being a bit priggish. I plead guilty. A bit pedantic. A bit of a pedant here. But what's wrong with being punctilious? When in Rome, whatever. So to be hosted wins a lot of money and ongoing little. Actually, to me, the First Lady. Oh God, no. This might be okay. Come with us. All right, boys. The butterfly net and the white jacket crowd. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. This is Candace. Just do me a favor. Make a shirt out of that. You won. You won. That will go down in history as one of the lines like "Hold my beer" or something emblazoned in the collective memory of. Now again, I don't want to get into it. Now also, Melania, by the way, who's in the news too, we'll talk about that later. She's thinking, you think she's hot? All women, because if there's one thing Donald Trump always fancied himself throughout life is knowing talent and being surrounded by ostensibly pulchritudinous women who's comely, beautiful, and she thinks maybe she's been to Kash Patel's, ophthalmologist or something. Kash Patel, whose famous line was, "I'm getting laid." Anywho. So, is that cheap? Yeah. Okay, so he thinks that she's beautiful and a far more beautiful woman than Candace in fact. Wilford Brimley is far more attractive. Ask your parents. This is just, I'm still dating myself. Wilford Brimley. Where the hell did I think of that from? Anyway, this is where I say, okay, DT, take it easy, buddy boy. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. I don't have time enough to dissect this, but that's not what he said. It wasn't directed at families. That was ridiculous. I'm sorry. From what he said, that's not. Sorry. The last time I checked, in this country, if you didn't believe a particular news story, you could say it. Some people don't believe we landed on the moon. Some people believe the Artemis 2 was a moonshot. I'm still thinking, did they go to the moon? Yeah, I don't think they went to the moon. Oh, they went near the moon. Okay. So I went to Paris because I went near Paris. All right, fair enough. This is one of these things which blows my mind. In any event, and by the way, as I told you, Alex Jones, I'm still standing. He's here. Bankrupt, we'll see about that. We will see about that. In any event, and by the way, you know that was a hit job. You know that was one of those. And if anybody should know this, it would be the president, considering what they did to him. But anyway, or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. Now, these so-called pundits, well, they are a pundit. Pundit is not exactly, that's, to be a pundit, somebody who opines, who opinionates, as people say, conversate, my new favorite acceptable word. They're pundits, yeah, or pundit, as a friend of mine says. No, they're pundits. That's like these so-called doctors. You normally use the quotes, air quotes or otherwise, to indicate something that is being used incorrectly. But anyway, these pundits are losers, capital letters, comma, and they always will be, comma. So he's employing the Oxford comma. He didn't write any of this. He didn't type this. He didn't format this. Okay. Now, fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all of the other radical. Wait, the fake news CNN, fake news. He was just at the top of this particular screed. He was very excited that CNN said he was doing well. In fact, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. I still don't know what that means. So CNN is okay, sort of, but not really. Anyway, they are failing. That is true. The failing New York Times and all of the other radical left news, or that was correct. The quotes of this stylized reference, meaning it is not news. Okay, so he writes, the failing New York Times and all of the other radical left news organizations are hailing them. Again, a lot of quotes here. Use them. Be more precise. Don't be so gratuitous with the quotes. But anyway, are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. Again, what's with these quotes? They're MAGAs. You're using it. Anyway, they're not MAGA, comma. They're losers, comma, just trying to latch on to MAGA. Okay, weird. Little Kerouac phraser. I mean, you can almost hear like a Mingus thing. Hey, man. Hey, they're not MAGA. They're losers, man. Like at the Cafe Ward. They're losers. He's trying to latch on to MAGA. Guy with a beret named Ace. Anyway, as president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs, capitals. After a few times, they go nasty, quote unquote, just like Marjorie Traitor Brown. All right. I got the Taylor. Brown, is this a slam on the chromatic reference of her surname? I don't know. But I no longer care about that stuff. And it shows, too. It shows he doesn't care. He couldn't care less. Notice I didn't say could care less. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning, capital letters, and strength in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. Okay? MAGA is about making America great again, capitals. And these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, capitals. Because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. Okay. Absolute genius. What do I say? How do you top this? Okay. First, he just awakened, woke, nudged, prodded the sleeping giant, use the Yamamoto reference, and given it a terrible resolve. He has just inspired people who normally would say, I really don't know where Iran is. I can't find it on a map. I don't know the Strait of Hormel. What is this? Is this the Chile? I don't know what you're talking about. Who's straight? Is he straight? They don't know about that. But this they do know. Because let me tell you something. Dig what I'm telling you. Listen to Grandpa. They love Candace Owens. No. I'm not being equally gratuitous in my particular, my encomium, my paean, my panegyric, my elevation, the apotheosis of her. She is loved and beloved. She is the only, I think, the only appointment YouTube there is. Is that Candace? Half an hour. I thought, Friday. Oh, she's going to come on. I thought she was off this way. People pulling over. She's speaking. We're not worthy. Think I'm kidding? You can argue all day long about why she's that way, what she did. I'm telling you right now, she is loved and beloved. And if you don't understand this, you're going to find out very, very soon. She just unleashed. She just christened a new offshoot, a new powerhouse. Left-right politics is dead. To harken back to Carol Quigley in Tragedy and Hope, two sides of the same coin. It's the left-right paradigm is over. It's done. It's an illusion. Call it a third party, call it a second party, because it's really, we want a second party, not a third party, because the left-right, it's a uniparty. This goes back to Wendell Willkie. It's one, they're the same. Mark my words. Let me tell you something. This, you threw down the gauntlet, my friend. And by the way, on a personal note, President Trump is still one of the most magnificent politicians I've ever seen. Do I like everything he's doing? Of course not. Iran thing, incomprehensible. Breathtakingly incoherent. He just made Iran a superpower. Did you notice that? So he said, I got to do something quick. Let's say something about Candace. Okay. Some people call it a distraction, like the whole Epstein thing. Who was it? Max Blumenthal called epic fury. By the way, have you noticed how all of these military actions all sound like either tampons, sanitary female products, you know what I mean? Operation Freedom Wing Dawn Fury, Guardian of the Gates, and or a laxative or something, deliberate fury, and tsunami like Vesuvius, but epic fury. Blumenthal calls him Epstein fury because he and the world think that all this going on right now is just a version away from it. By the way, there is no such thing as a distraction. There is no such thing, because if you notice one thing, remember Granddaddy's 3-day rule. After 3 days, everything's forgotten. Everything. People don't remember anything. They have the attention span of a gnat. As Gore Vidal says, we're the United States of amnesia. So you don't need it. You don't need to distract anybody. They'll forget anyway. In any event, bookmark this. Remember this. This just was the official, this was ringing the bell. This was the official opening line, the opening salvo, the introductory, the proem, the prolegomenon, the précis, the prefatory statement introducing this new force, this, really, if you think about it, it's a trio. It's Alex, and it's Tucker, and it's Candace. That's really it. It's the trio, the trifecta, the troika. They are it. This is bigger than ever. And let me tell you something right now. They have, President Trump, bless your heart, but man, have you done it.